All right,
Cool.
y'all. Thanks so much for joining us today for How to Run Your Business Like a Business with Lauren Duke. I think as real estate agents, we can all agree that there's a million things that we do, but one of the most often, or one of the most challenging aspects of our business is figuring out a way to scale. When we are in a service-based industry and there are only so many hours in the day, creating scalable, repeatable systems that feel sustainable to us can be quite challenging. And so that's where Lauren comes in and her company, CoreOps Collective, from everyday operations, client systems, and team member trainings. She's got it all. So Lauren, I'm excited for you to do this today. I have been so impressed from everything that I've seen and the clients or agents that I've spoken to that have worked with you. It's just endlessly impressive and always motivates me to be like, oh my gosh, I need one more system. But it feels good to say that, not in a daunting way. So anyway, I'm so excited for
Right?
you to do this with us today, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. You're making me blush over here, okay? Such a nice welcome. I'm gonna go ahead. Do I have the ability to screen share?
Yes, okay, you should now have that ability.
Okay, let me go into, let's see here. Okay. Why is it not? Sorry, I'm trying to make it so that you guys don't see like the rest of my.
Take your time.
You know, like when you're trying to do something and then the pressure's on and you're like, oh my gosh.
Well, I love it too that when you're trying to share your screen, you can see everything that's going on your screen. All the other people see is you like staring intently at what looks like
Right, exactly. Okay. Okay, that's what it is. I just have way too many tabs open. So sorry, just a second. Okay, we should be good now. Okay. Are you guys seeing my screen? Oops.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, welcome everyone. Are you now still seeing my screen? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why this looks different today. Hold on, I'm gonna stop really quick because it is being super weird and I don't know what's going on. Have the girl that knows how to screen share help you run your business, I guess. Okay, we're good now. You guys can see my face, right?
Only your face, yes.
Thank you. Okay, so question for you guys. Who here sometimes feels like you're running around in circles and not actually running a business? You're kind of maybe starting to realize that you are a business and it might be time to stop winging it. It might be time to start figuring out what you're actually doing. Yeah, well, I get it too. And I have absolutely been there. My name is Lauren Duke, like Kate so nicely introduced me. I am the owner of CoreOps Collective, where we build integrators for the busy, burnt out real estate agent to get them to the next level. So I'm the former chief operating officer of a top 10 mega team, and I have overseen the closing of more than 3,000 transactions. I've recruited, onboarded, and trained over 150 agents and opened up 20 expansion locations. And here we go. And I've helped develop the skills of more than 50 administrative personnel. Okay, so it goes without saying that none of that happened overnight. And I worked tirelessly, just like all of you guys. I worked a little too much sometimes, but I learned so incredibly much about how a real estate team should operate in order to be successful. Okay. And now working with agents and teams to scale their businesses, the one common theme that a lot of them have is that they have this really good idea of what they want to do, right? But they're really fuzzy on why they want to do it, how they're going to do it, and most importantly, who is going to be doing it. And when you don't know the who, what, where, when, and why of your business practices, it kind of makes you feel like you're a hamster on a wheel. Has anyone ever felt like that? You just are literally never satisfied, right? You're trying anything and everything to achieve those goals. So today, while we're going to go through this course together, we're going to go through some tracking methods, right? We're going to go through all the nerdy operations stuff, I promise. But we're also going to make sure that you're scaling your business in a way that won't burn you out, okay? So we're going to first start with building a foundation that supports where you want to be headed. And I have a workbook that goes along with this course that you can grab at the QR code here, as long as my screen is still being shared and I'm not embarrassing myself immensely. Good.
Recording in progress.
So I highly recommend getting it. It's going to contain all the systems and tracking methods that I'll be sharing throughout. I'll give you guys another second to grab it if you need to. It should get emailed to you like right away. And if it doesn't, for whatever reason, just let me know, please. So first things first, why are you doing this? Why real estate? Okay, I am fully aware that like everyone and their mother asks you what your why is. So I'm not going to be doing that because I want it to be more than that. Okay, I can almost guarantee you that 98% of you would say that your why is your family. Am I right? Anyone? But what is your mission? Can anyone explain in one sentence why they do what they do? Why you do what you do? You can drop it in the chat, or let's see here. Okay. You can drop it in the chat if you can explain in one sentence why you do what you do. So building the foundation of your business includes creating a mission statement because it defines your purpose, what you do, and who you do it for. So some examples of mission statements. We've got LinkedIn to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Okay, we've got someone. To eliminate overwhelm. Where is that? To eliminate overwhelm for my clients so that they have fun and enjoy the process. I love that. To empower consumers to understand how real estate can catalyze their wealth. That's great. To help bring the gap of homeownership. Is that supposed to say bridge?
It's supposed to say bridge.
Okay, I figured. To help bridge the gap of homeownership within the Black-Brown community. I love that. To build a brokerage that truly exists to serve agents. I mean, come on, snaps for that one, right? JC, to retire at 50 and travel the world. You know what? I think we're all here for that. Okay. To help build generational wealth through real estate. Those are much better examples than my examples on my slides. So I'm just going to skip through that. Okay. But some of you might be thinking that your brand is defined by your logo and your fonts and your colors. And I'm so sorry to tell you that you are wrong because it is your mission statement. You can look good all day, but at the end of it, if you don't stand for anything, you are not going to last very long. Okay. So let me go. There we go. So there's 3 parts to a mission statement. Your purpose. What do you do and who do you do it for? And then we've got your values. What does your company stand for? What makes you unique? All right. No offense to all of you, but there are 1.5 million realtors in the US. Okay. And you all do the same thing. So you have to know what makes you stand out from the rest, especially nowadays when your worth is being questioned every single time you go to submit an offer. All right. And finally, your goals. What do you accomplish for your clients? And why should you be the realtor of choice over anyone else in your market? Okay, so writing your vision statement. Can you imagine where you want your business to be in, let's say, 5 years? What's your big goal? Does anyone have a big goal for what they want in the next 5 years? If you do, please drop it in the chat. I would love to know. But does anyone here plan to build a team or bring on a showing agent in the next couple of years? Or do you have some type of financial goal that you want to achieve? Something that you are working towards, okay? So now your vision statement outlines what you want to achieve in the future, right? I just said that. It's that ambitious, forward-looking goal that really keeps you going when those hard hamster wheel type days, when you're like, no, this isn't it anymore. I'm done. I don't want to do real estate. You're all crazy. We're all crazy, right? We are. It's okay. So some examples of vision statements. All right. You want to make it bold. You want to make it aspirational, but also realistic. Okay. The vision for myself in 5 years is to make $30 bazillion and never have to do a thing again. Right. Sure. But that's not realistic. Okay. Make it general enough that it can incorporate any of your goals. It's a statement that you're truly going to grow into. So now defining your core values. If you're unclear on what your core values are, your growth's going to feel aimless almost, because your core values are what are giving your business purpose. They define your culture, and having your core values defined is actually critical. If you want to have motivated employees, motivated agents, whoever, who are truly bought into the idea of your company. So if you take anything away from this masterclass today, please let it be that you need to have core values if you want to build a business that is sustainable. Because creating a culture of purpose, creating a culture that other people want to come into and believe in, that's what's going to bring you loyalty. That's what's going to bring you loyalty within your business for both your clients and any team members that you may bring on, okay? So some examples of core values, of course. First of all, does anyone have their core values defined? Ooh, got one in here already. Okay, Taylor said, core values. We believe clients need a professional, but also a friend. We believe realtors have a responsibility to lighten the load of their clients. We believe clients deserve someone that is going to be there, not leave emails, texts, and calls unanswered. I love that. If we could sum those up into like 3 bold words, I would probably say the first one is, relational. The second one, responsibility, right there. And the third one probably, my gosh, my mind's gonna go blank on what a really good word for the third one would be. But attentive, communication. There we go. There we go. So mine are stability, contribution, and creativity. Okay. And as I'm building my business, as I, am building this class, it's, hey, how do I want to help bring stability to other people's businesses as well? How do I want to contribute? How do I want to show up? And how do I want to bring my creativity so that other people can benefit from it? Okay, so what do you need to know to do this? Step 1, we're going to reflect on what you and your business stand for. So think about past experiences that have shaped your business. What lessons did you learn? What values were reinforced through these experiences? Okay, step 2, consider what drives your actions and decisions daily. What makes you get out of bed in the morning? For me, it's my 7-year-old staring at me with his beady little eyeballs being like, I want Captain Crunch. All right. But what activities or pursuits do you find most rewarding? throughout your personal life, throughout your professional life, all of it. Step 3, make a list of potential values you identify from those reflections, and then prioritize them. Ask yourself which one of these are non-negotiable and must be upheld at all times. And then step 4, examine how your core values align with your long-term goals and aspirations. Because if there's a disconnect, you're going to want to reassess your values to ensure that they are genuinely reflective of what you actually want to achieve. So in the workbook on the QR code in the beginning, there is a guide on defining your mission, vision, and values. So if anyone still needs that, the link, let me know and I'll grab it for you. Okay, so identifying key roles. Can anyone here tell me what it is that they do every single day that moves their business forward? Not literally every single thing, but like, is there one thing every day that you do to move your business forward that is the same every single day, consistently? If someone were to ask you, would you be able to say which tasks you're doing on a regular basis that are something that maybe someone else should be doing too? So identifying key roles means that you need to know what you're doing every day. You need to know that you are doing the activities that are within the 20%, right? Not the 80% that don't make you money. You want it to be those top 20% of your activities. So write down every little thing you do in your day-to-day and see where your time is actually going, because you might be shocked at how much time you're wasting on tasks that don't generate revenue. Okay, so kind of like a diet audit, right? Where the dietitian tells you to write down everything you eat for a week. And so you're sitting there realizing that the handful of goldfish and the leftover chicken nuggets, I'm sorry, I have 3 kids. So if anybody doesn't hear, I have a ton of children that eat a lot of chicken nuggets and goldfish. So I'm like, oh, well, that's the reason why I can't lose the last 10 pounds of baby weight, right? So doing a time audit like this, it's going to help define what roles you need within your business to help. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just like continuing to talk. I don't know if someone was asking you a question or if they were accidentally unmuted.
They were accidentally unmuted.
Okay. Okay, but doing an audit like this, it's going to help us define what roles you need within your business to help get you to where that mission and vision statement is leading you. Okay, the who of the business that's going to help you build. Okay, and now we're going to put all of those tasks in what's called the RACI chart. Has anyone heard of a RACI chart before? If you were in corporate America at any point in time, you may have heard of a RACI chart, but I'll show you it here in just a second. But it's a tool that I use during my strategy to scale process to help clearly define who is responsible, accountable, who's consulted, and who just needs to be kept informed about whatever task or project or even an entire department of your business, okay? So if you've ever wondered why things aren't getting done or why you're constantly chasing tasks, maybe it's because your roles and responsibilities aren't clearly defined. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It might look a little wild right now, but I promise you it's not that intimidating, not that difficult to get in the habit of using once you get started. I used this chart when I was helping my client, who is the #1 agent in the state of Virginia, figure out what she needed to take off of her plate in order to hire a director of operations. All right, her DOO took so much off her plate that she now feels like she can go on vacation, not be glued to her phone. She has boundaries with her clients, right? Her production went up 33% in a market that was 30% down because she wasn't focusing on updating her CRM drip campaigns. She wasn't focusing on, writing those SEO positive blog posts. Okay. This helped streamline things in a way that she never thought possible. So how you use it, you're going to write down every task, project, initiative, whatever it is from that time audit that you just did. And then have the different roles or departments in your business. It might not be marketing, operations, transaction coordinator, showing assistant. It might just be you, or it might just be you and an admin, or it might be you and the guy on Fiverr or Upwork that you love. Okay. It doesn't have to be this big whole 10-person thing. So you have whoever it is defined at the top, and you're going to go through and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to put an R next to marketing because they are the ones that are responsible for getting the CRM drip campaign updates done, right? R stands for responsible, the person or people who are going to actually perform the work, responsible for getting the task done, okay? And then you're going to go through and say, who's accountable? The person who's ultimately answerable for the task or the decision. Okay, they have yes, no authority. They have veto power. They're also the one who, if the person responsible for the task doesn't complete it, they now have to get it done, right? C stands for consulted. These are the people who are going to give you advice, input on the task. They're the subject matter experts, okay? Or even you as the business owner, if you want to have final say on things like marketing or training materials, social media posts, whatever it may be. And I stands for informed. Now, these are the people who need to be kept informed about the tasks, projects, or decision, what progress or decisions or whatever, but they're not directly involved in the work. They're just affected by its outcome. So using a chart like this helps immensely when creating job descriptions, setting up expectations, seeing who is supposed to be doing what at any given time. And you guys have a copy of this exact RACI chart in the workbook. Does anyone have any questions on that? I know I probably flew through it and you guys are like, what did you just say? And that's okay. But we're all about tracking progress here, okay? So even if you feel like you don't have enough business to track things right now, if you are actively working towards building your business, I promise you, you're gaining data every single day. And sometimes I talk to agents, they're like, hey, I don't want to look at my failures. I don't want to track all of these or even any of these things because I don't want to look at my failures. And that's what it feels like when I track some of these. Now, I want to ask, does anyone else have the expectation that everything you do will turn out exactly the way you expect? I know I could go into, I just have like wild dreams, okay? I could go into saying, I'm going to go run a marathon. I sit in this office. I don't move, okay? But I'm going to go into this marathon being like, I got this. This is fine. I can do this. No, I'm delusional, okay? But failure is just data collection, okay? You didn't fail. You just found a way to not succeed, right? And I know that that sounds so trivial and elementary, but it's true. Because if I wake up every single day and do the same exact thing and expect different results, I mean, that's literally the definition of insanity, right? But if I'm tracking my actions, if I'm collecting my lessons and I'm reviewing to pivot, to try something else when I need to, that makes a little bit more sense, I'd say, right? So on with it. I got it. All right. How to actually measure and track KPIs. Here's where I'm going to tell you that a Google Sheet is really, really effective. Okay. You can also be like JC, take a page from her playbook. She uses monday.com and it absolutely blew my mind when I saw it. But you can do this in whatever way works for you, in your CRM, in a notebook, in the notes app on your phone, whatever. I'm actually giving you guys a very generic spreadsheet to get started on tracking. And I usually customize these for my clients when they go through one of the strategy to scale process, but that takes like 3 months and we don't have that time today. So really sorry, you guys are just going to get the basics. Okay. But whatever way you're going to review them and actually use them, that's where you want them to be tracked. Okay. But here's the thing. When you have an operations team, you don't actually have to be the one to do the tracking. You just have to make sure that they're being tracked in a way that works for everyone. a way that you're actually going to go through and look at them. Okay, so let's go through a couple scenarios that are likely very relevant to your business. Lead gen metrics. So these might include the number of new leads you have, lead conversion rate, cost per lead. Okay, if you have agents on your team or want agents in the future, some sales performance KPIs. Those may be the number of transactions closed, average transaction volume, gross commission income. All right, we've got marketing effectiveness. What's your website traffic? What's your social media engagement? Your email open and click-through rates? Your client satisfaction. How many positive reviews are you getting? How many repeat business rates? How many referral rates? I was talking to a client yesterday, and she is spending about $8,500 a month on paid lead sources, but she has a database of 500 past clients, and she doesn't talk to them, those past clients. She doesn't like continuously ask for referrals, right? Go through, figure out what your client satisfaction rates are, because you're probably sitting on a gold mine. Okay. Now, your operational efficiency, your average days on market, contract to close time, listing to sale price ratio, right? And those KPIs are huge nowadays when everyone wants to know why you're worth the commission that they're spending. Okay? And then finally, we've got your financial health. So your profit margin, your expense ratios, your return on investment. Okay? Does anyone have any KPIs that they swear by or that they love to look at? I'm asking basically, is anyone else a nerd here that loves to see the numbers? You don't have to out yourself, it's fine. All right, but how are we going to measure them? A few different ways, okay? With the goals you're setting for your business from building that foundation, you want to make sure that they are specific and measurable. And I'm not going to go into what SMART goals are. I'm positive you've all heard of those, okay? We don't need to learn them again, all right? But an example would be something like increase lead conversion rate from 10 to 15% over the next 6 months, okay? Or even simpler, just increase the number of KPIs being tracked from 0 to 10 over the next 6 months, all right? Choose a frequency that you want to review them. Maybe it's daily, weekly, monthly, however often, okay? I have some that I look at daily. I have some that I look at more like quarterly. Like I said before, figure out where you're going to track them, what's going to be most efficient for you. CRM, spreadsheet, whatever. And then make some scheduled performance reviews to really dig through and analyze all of that data. Because those performance reviews, that's when you're going to want to make informed decisions and figure out what needs to be done with the information the data is giving you. All right. Are you updating your marketing campaigns to increase the effectiveness? Are you increasing your script practice to get more appointments to closings? All right. My team and I do this quarterly, but again, you can do what works best for you. Okay. We've done the why, we've done the what, we've done the who, and we're figuring out the worth, right? So let's do the how. Now, in the least robotic way possible, the point of having standard operating procedures is to have every single task that needs to be done in your company defined so that anyone who comes into it can complete it the same way every single time, but like not robotically, okay? Who here has ever bought a piece of IKEA furniture? If you don't raise your hand, you're lying, okay? Who here has the Billy bookcase, all right, or a Calyx dresser, all right? I've got both of them. That's why I just said them, okay? Whatever piece of IKEA furniture you've bought before, we've all put together some type of furniture or a kid's toy or something that you had to use an instruction manual for, right? But let me ask you, how hard would it have been to build if you didn't have that instruction manual? Because I mean, even the IKEA ones, those little pictures without any words, are you joking me? Those are tough, okay? But if we didn't have them, we would have no idea where to start. And that's why writing down the process for your tasks is so important, okay? More than that, it creates quality control. Let's say you have an SOP for onboarding clients. All right, writing it down the way you want it to be executed creates the expectation of the level of care every single client in your business should receive, regardless of who's doing it. Okay, they boost efficiency. People aren't roaming around your office or the virtual version of it through your Google Workspace or whatever. I'm a Google fan. If you're a Microsoft fan, I'm really sorry. But they're not roaming around trying to figure out where to begin because it's right there for them. Okay. And guess what? It also allows you to track some KPIs for any team members that you have as well, because you can evaluate who's falling short or not completing the task as efficiently as you'd like. All right. It creates accountability because the expectations are laid out right there for them. So let me rewind for a second really quick. Remember the RACI chart and how anyone who's tagged as responsible that doesn't complete the task, it ends up falling into the lap of who is accountable, right? With SOPs, now that person knows how to do it. If the responsible person is sick, out of town, quit, whatever it is, there's a procedure for how things should be done. Meaning, little to no lapse in these responsibilities because someone else can come in and take over. Has anyone been in a situation where someone quit and you had to scramble to pick up the pieces and figure out how things are supposed to be done for a role you've actually never done before? It's the worst. It's not fun, right? And guess what else? All of these tasks that you're writing down and assigning to a role, you're literally creating the training for it. It doesn't have to be more complicated. You're giving them the tools necessary to be proficient in their roles because now they know what they need to know. Now, I'm going to step off my soapbox because I'm pretty sure I've made my stance like super clear on how much I like SOPs, okay? So now I know that I just went through literally so much information. So this last portion is going to be quick, I promise, but we learned how to build the foundation you need in order to scale, right? We learned the ways to make sure that your business is internally operating so you can scale, right? But how do you actually scale? And everyone's specific strategy is going to be different because everyone's foundation is different. But the basis should stay the same regardless, okay? As you plan for expansion, whether that's by opening up new locations or adding team members, or even that team member is just an admin, okay? And it's just the two of you. Consider how new initiatives will support your core values. And what I mean by that is say no. When you're new in the business, right? Or even when you're experienced, but you aren't really sure of what your values are or why you're doing this, you tend to say yes to everything. Now, after I left my real estate team that I was COO of, I swore to myself that I wouldn't become a virtual assistant again. Not that there's anything wrong with that, okay? I have a virtual assistant. I love her. I would literally lose my mind without her. But I know myself and I am a much better visionary than I am an executor. And I didn't want to go down the path of doing anything for a buck again. So I started saying no to opportunities that would provide me with immediate income because I knew that I would get sucked into doing things that I truly didn't want to be doing. So say no. You don't have to do all of the things and be everything for everyone. Okay? My mouth is really dry, so hang on. Also, I'm a mess. And this is me literally being authentic right now. So you guys are getting the true Lauren. But incorporating those values means you're going to be fostering a strong company culture, okay? Company culture may feel like a buzzword these days. Maybe it is, okay? But it's incredibly important because it's what's attracting talent. It's what's building loyalty, and it is what is truly setting you apart from your competitors. All right. As you grow, you're going to want to actively work to maintain and evolve your culture in a way that supports your team and your values. Okay. Story time. When I was recruiting, I'd get on the phone or meet up with a potential team member. And I used to say that our culture was that we were one big happy family. And my eyes twitching now, and I cringe when I when I tell this story, okay? Because I'm like, ugh, I have the ick, right? And let me make something real clear. Your culture needs to be more than family. You need to figure out what you stand for. You need to figure out what your values are. You need to figure out what values you're looking for in other people. And you need to hold strong to those. So if you're interested in starting a team, make sure that you know what sets you apart from the thousands of other teams that recruits could join, right? And if you're an agent looking to join a team, make sure that you know what your values are and that yours align with the team's, right? Speaking to everyone now, it's okay if you have to go through quite a few interviews to find the right fit. There were many times that I took shortcuts. I hired anyone that showed interest in the team versus going through a lengthy interview process. And those people, 9 times out of 10, ended up not being a good fit. All right. And I'm about to blow your mind with a statistic here. The wrong hire can cost you upwards of $25,000. And I don't know about you, but I don't just like have that sitting next to me that I just want to throw away. If you do, you can throw it my way, please. But I really urge you to do the legwork prior to committing to bringing someone on. Okay. You're going to thank yourself in the end. I promise. And now let's keep in mind that growth should never come at the cost of service quality. Before you bring on new agents or team members into your company, you want to have a well thought out training plan ahead of time so that they are being held to the same standards that you have for yourself for the exceptional service that each client receives. All right. Don't bring someone into your business until you're ready to pour into them in order for them to meet that standard. And this means having accountability for them, right? When they come into your organization, is there a training program that they're being held to complete? Are there expectations that they need to meet? And what happens if they don't? Okay. My advice is have this written somewhere that is easily accessible for everyone to reference. Like I said before, I'm a Google fan. Okay. So my favorite way is through a Google site. It's a free website that can be edited through your Google workspace, and it can connect to your Google Drive. It can connect to all of your Google Forms. It's my version of an intranet, right? I make one of these for each client during their strategy to scale program. And we input each piece of training, education, script, whatever it is that an agent or team member needs to have in order to be successful. Okay. I know that I just went through so much. Okay. And I'm like, oh, I'm a little ramped up right now. I won't lie. I haven't done this class in a couple weeks and I'm like, whew, feels good again. But maybe I'm on the verge of losing your attention. That's fine. I'm literally hyped. I could do this course again right now. But maybe I lost your attention when I started talking about KPIs. Okay. One more method to, yes, it is all those chicken nuggets. You are correct. One more method to use for all of your business practices is the KISS method. Okay. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't think that just because you're running a business, it needs to be complicated or that you need to do it yourself. Right. Now, I know I just gave you so much information, but just like I couldn't come in and pretend to be some world-class real estate agent, you shouldn't come in and pretend like you're going to be some baller ops person right out the gate if sales is your jam. Okay. So find your growth partner, find your integrator, get a strategy to scale your business. And if you don't know what it needs to look like, call me. I am done. I'm literally hyped.
I know Brian put it in the chat, but I quite agree. Like, this was just my first download. I'm like, I need to watch this like 3 different times and have a whole notebook and open a spreadsheet.
So I also wanted to tell you guys, on Wednesday, October 30th, I am having a business plan workshop, a 2025 business plan workshop. And actually, I'm going to stop sharing really quick and I will get the link for that so that if you guys are interested, you can make sure that you're there. It is free as well. Hold on, if I can get the link, I'll give it to you. But does anyone have any questions?
Not offhand, I have a general idea, but I'm curious what your thoughts are in terms of making that list. I forgot what you called it, but the maybe the RACI chart, but like making a list of all of the tasks that you do every day and whose responsibilities they are. I know in the times that I've done this and I go in such waves with it, but I do try to keep like a little Google Doc open, and as I'm doing things on a daily basis, like write down what that task is off to the side, just because I know when you try to brain dump it, you miss a million things and you're like, I know I'm forgetting them. What advice do you have to people when it comes to starting to chip away at that?
I mean, I'm gonna say exactly what you just said too. Have a planner, have a notebook, put in, 15 or 30-minute increments in a notebook that just says like, okay, from 8 to 8:30, I was checking emails and I spent way too long on formatting one of them to make sure that my font looked cute. And then from 8:30 to 9, I was supposed to be lead generating on Instagram, but instead I was looking at funny dog videos. I'm not calling myself out right now, I promise. I might be. But yeah, I mean, just put it into increments of I was writing out note cards to past clients. I was going through my CRM for how long and what was the actual point, right? Did you go into your CRM just for fun, or did you go into it with the intention of calling 100 leads? And what actually happened? So that's what I would do.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions, y'all? Got a hot commodity right in front of you.
If you don't have any,
Absolutely.
it just means that I've left you all so speechless, and that's okay too. But if you do think of any later, you can always contact me. I'm on Instagram at CoreOps Collective, or you can also email me, lauren@coreopscollective.com.
I don't have
Amazing.
any
Thank you
questions, but
so
that
much.
was amazing. That was one of the best, most concise sessions I've ever heard on, kind of getting organized there from an operation standpoint. So that was really great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All very tangible advice as well. I'll be sure to include all of your contact info in the recording email as it goes out. If you guys are looking for some accountability or want to share, maybe just respond to that with whatever your mission ends up being or your core values. Maybe take one little nugget away from the session and promise yourself that that's what you'll decide on by the end of the week. And then
Mhm.
just do the same thing week by week, right? I think when we attend these, it's so easy to say, oh my gosh, I've got a million things to do, and I apparently need to have done this yesterday. And so therefore, I am just not going to do it, right? It all begins with like one little step at a time. So,
Mhm.
like Lauren said, this can take 3 months plus for her clients. Give yourself that same grace, but you'll thank yourself in the long run. Thank you guys so much for spending your morning with us. Brian, you looked like you had one more thing to add. What you gonna
Well, I
say?
was just going to make sure you send out the link to her business planning when you send out this recording. Send out a link to the business planning. And Lauren, can you make sure that Kate has the link? I know you have the QR code. Can you share the link behind it that she can also distribute?
Yes, and I accidentally just sent the wrong link here. Hold on, here we go. All right, so the first one that I sent a few minutes ago, that's the 2025 business planning workshop. The one I just sent a second ago, the second one though, because I sent the wrong one at first. Oh, I can delete that. Cool. The second one is the workbook from today.
Great.
So thank you guys. I very much appreciate all of you being here.
Thank you
And
so much, Lauren.
I'll
Appreciate
talk to you
it.
guys soon. Bye.
Likewise, everyone have a great day.